Well, here we are back at Shearwater. 7 o'clock in the morning. A late dawn. It got dark very early last night. We got here just before dark and managed to set up. We've had absolutely nothing during the night. And we've woken up. It was sort of gloomy morning. To light rain. But we're hopeful. It's a good day for fishing. So we can catch a few today. Got a couple of lads just down to the right. I don't think they've caught either. Oh, and Luke has a run. Luke's still asleep, so Margot's going to have to take this one. Rod's only been cast about 10 minutes. Just put it in. Had a couple of small fish last night just before it got dark. One about £7 and one about £4, tiny little thing. Was hopeful for the night, but had about 5 or 6 hours sleep, which is always a bonus. Now we'll just get on with the day's fishing. Hopefully the rain will ease off. As you can see, it wasn't a monster. That took Luke's Bream rig. We'll put that one back. There we go. Shows that the Bream rig works. Here's Luke with a nice sort of 2.5 Bream, like most of these are here. Little 10mm boilie and a bag of pellet. Well done, Lukey. Let's put him back. Give it a smile. Okay, here's Luke, second Bream. Just proved the method works. This one's £5.6, a new PB Bream for Luke. You think he'd smile a bit more, wouldn't you? That's better. Sometimes, just to prove the theory wrong, the Bream rod produces a carp. This one actually took a whole bag of pellet on the drop before he'd even got the rod and the rest.
Looks like a carp.
Let's go and net it for him. Well, there was a culprit. A typical £7 Shearwater common. This one's definitely £7 because we put it on the scales. £7 on the nail. Let's get it back, get his Bream rig back in the water. Well, there's Margot with a fish. Screaming run. Seems to be quite a good one too. Okay, it weighs £8.4. Margot's fish, not mine. But running to her rods just now, she slid all the way down the bank on her ass and cut her fingers. So she's got plasters on her fingers. A little bit bigger than a normal stamper common, a lot deeper. It might even be a different strain of fish. But it fought really well. It's looking to be quite a good day.
Steve just had a screaming run. Just pulling in this one. He thought it was maybe a big one, but turns out may not be quite as big as he hoped. It's actually stopped raining for a couple of minutes. Every time you start getting going with something outside, it starts to rain again. Oh, he's a tiddler.
Another £7 common. A little bit of mouth damage here. Give it a little bit of carp care. Bit of a Bit of a tatty one, this one, only a little fish. Bit disappointed really, it's not really what you expect on double 18mm boilies. But, well, it's a fish. Okay, I've been asked a few times, I've had a few private messages on the back of the Landing Net forum. People have been coming up to Shearwater and they have a problem with catching bream. So I thought I'd just show you the rigs I use. It tends to avoid all the bream, avoids most of the smaller carp, and seems to sort out the bigger ones. It's a pretty standard rig for me, standard blowback rig, bit of putty to make the eye of the hook heavy so it drops down in the mouth. But you'll see the bait on there is a double 18mm bait. You don't catch many bream on that. We've got Luke fishing today. He's had 3 bream and 2 small carp, all on this particular rig here. Made exactly the same way. It's got a size 10 Fang X hook on it with a little tiny shrink tube kicker, because I find that helps them turn quicker, and a little 10mm bait. Made exactly the same way with a tube blowback and the shot exactly the same. If you want to catch bream, then if you put out a little 10mm bait, a little bag of pellet just nicked on the hook, and you'll catch bream on that all day. I don't put any pellet on my carp rigs at all. I just hook on, normally a 5 bait, 5 boilie PVA casting out for the night, and want to be absolutely certain it's not tangled. I'll put the 2 big baits in the stringer and actually thread the boilie on through the string. Try to sort out the bigger fish at Shearwater and avoid the bream. Here's Margot in again. It's a bit slow here today, but when we're getting runs they're proper ones.
And always on this one.
A couple of cormorants just flew over. I don't know whether the noise was picked up by the camera, but peculiar noise. The rain's stopped again. Having a lot of showers today. This makes everything unpleasant and wet. I don't know how big this fish is. It's giving quite a good account of itself.
He feels quite heavy. Odding, isn't he?
I'll, go down with the net.
Pretty. Have I got 2 for the price of 1 in there? Okay. Dog off deals at Shearwater.
Well, this one again is Margot's fish, £10.8, first mirror we've had. Caught on a single 18mm live system, of course, on our normal blowback rig. Let's put him back.
Steve's just had a screaming run. His fish took off to the right, missed Luke's and my rods, and caught up with the neighbours. At the same time, he's caught a fish, which Steve presumed that his fish was over the neighbour's line, but not at all. They're both catching fish at the same time, which is quite funny. So Steve's wading in to try and bring his in. The fishes have suddenly burst into life now. I've just had my fish and Steve just had his, so this is more what we want.
Grab a net for me, Luke.
He seems to think it's a good size, so he's not letting this one go too easily. Luke's just coming for the net to bring it in for him.
Chuck it down there, chuck it in the water. Good boy.
I'll come in a sec.
You don't need to come in.
I'm not going to get in shorts.
Not crop weather today, that's for sure. Steve's moving into his waders. Sorry?
Not even that big.
No, not as big as he was hoping. But it's another fish, hey?
When I hooked this little fella, I thought it was going to be a 20 at least. Absolutely screamed off. Went across everybody else's lines. Much to my amazement, it's a stocky. It's a new fish. It's been hooked a couple of times, but it weighs 7.5 pounds. It fought like an absolute idiot. Got a nice big tail. Pretty fish. Future of Shearwater. Well, as you can see from that little bit of footage, we were on for a really good day's fishing. All of that footage was taken between about 7 o'clock in the morning and 9:30. When we had a visit from 4 people who decided that they were going to come and fish in the one remaining peg on the far lawn at Shearwater. They squeezed into one peg, put 8 rods in there, and proceeded to cast across all 3 of my lines. They were very verbal. They said that I was casting in front of them, whereas it was definitely the other way around. And at one point they actually cast past my 3 rods and picked up one of Luke's. We sort of soldiered on until just after lunchtime. We cancelled the cooking and carping video we planned to do, and we packed up and went home. I just wish that people would show a little bit of respect. We were there first, and they just tried to muscle in and fish over our baited areas. They were rude, they were obnoxious, they were threatening, and well, it got to the point that if I hadn't gone home, I would have probably done something I regretted. I just wish people would show some respect for people who are already fishing. When I arrived, there was 2 blokes fishing. I went and asked where their rods were cast, so I didn't cause them any interference. But it seems on day ticket waters, it's getting worse and worse. The problem is there's more and more people fishing for carp, and the ones who've been doing it a long time seem to have the etiquette, but these newcomers, it's catch fish at all cost, and to hell with what anybody else thinks. If one person sees this video and thinks, well, perhaps we shouldn't have done that, or thinks twice before doing something like that, it's been worth doing. Thanks for listening to my little rant. Bye now.
I'm gone fishing